Bobby Maximus here. And I got to tell you, I am really struggling with this avatar set. Really struggling. I can't even do an intro. I can't do my normal muscles and magic gathering flex, tell you about my history in the game. I am vexed. I am troubled. I am going bonkers. And why? It's not because the avatar set isn't good. It's because it is too good. There are too many commanders that I want to build, all right? And here is yet another one, Jet Rebel Leader. Like, seriously, I am going to have to build 10, 12, 15 different commanders from this set. When it comes to providing the game of Commander with commanders, this might be one of the best sets that I have ever seen in my life. But none of that really matters today. You're here because you want to know how to build a better Jet Rebel Leader deck. Specifically, you want to know all the low casting cost humans to make Jet go. So let's dive right in, right there, and let's take a look at Jet Rebel Leader. It costs 4 mana. It's going to be a mono-white deck. Whenever Jet attacks, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature card with mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. To me, I think this is one of the most underrated commander cards in Avatar, maybe the entire game of Magic right now. I think people are sleeping on this one. To me, it's got some real Winota Joiner of Forces similarities and potential. And it's going to be a really simple deck to build. You're going to flood this deck with low casting cost creatures, all right? Now, there's a couple of ways you could go about building this deck. You don't need to do the kinfolk type thing with humans or allies. You can just get all kinds of low casting cost creatures. However, I chose to go with humans. I love kinfolk decks. I love tribal decks. And this will give me another opportunity to feature a lot of these humans that I really love. So the low casting cost creatures that I'm going to share with you today, all humans and all perfect for the ultimate human kinfolk Jet Rebel Leader deck. So we're going to cover those humans, but I have a couple of honorable mentions right now, all right? The first one's going to be the Maze of Ith. And honestly, what you're going to want to do with Jet, you're going to want to protect him, all right? Some great cards that you can use to protect Jet. The Maze of Ith is one of them. Target attacking creature. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to and dealt by that creature this turn. All you have to do is attack. You don't have to do the damage. You just need to get the trigger. So Maze of Ith will keep Jet safe. Another card that can work, but I'm not going to picture it today. Reconnaissance, a Brotherhood Regalia, a Mithril Coat, cards like that, a Whisper Silk Coat, cards like that will help protect Jet. So give yourself a couple of those. More honorable mentions. Rick, Steadfast Leader. Now, how can that be an honorable mention and not one of the cards I'm going to go over today? Because the mana value is too high. It's not 3 or under. But because we are going to use a lot of humans in this deck, I want to make sure we have something to help them. And as Rick enters the battlefield, choose 2 abilities from among First Strike, Vigilance, and Lifelink. Humans you control have each of the chosen abilities. And as long as you control 4 or more humans you control get +2/+2. Incredible card for a human kinfolk type deck. We also have Myril, Shield of Argive, or Myril. During your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. Incredibly powerful stack piece. And whenever it attacks, create X 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature tokens, where X is the number of soldiers that you control. Another great card for Jet Rebel Leader, too high in the casting cost, but again, we're going to count that as support. We're going to have a Horn of Gondor. Love this card from Lord of the Rings. You pay 3, and when Horn of Gondor enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. You pay 3, create X 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens, where X is the number of humans that you control. Versus Incubator, of course, to get the casting cost of our humans down, although with Jet, we're going to cheat a lot of them out. Commander's Plate. In a monocolored deck, this is a must. Equipped creature gets +3/+3. Has protection from each color that's not in your commander's color identity. Another good piece to keep Jet safe. Castle Ardenvale of the Lord of the Rings version here. It enters the battlefield tapped unless you control planes. You add a white mana, and then you create a 1/1 white human creature token. Nixo, Shrine to Nyx. Add 1 to your mana pool. Pay 2, choose a color. Add to your mana pool an amount of mana of that color equal to your devotion of that color. In a monocolored deck, even a dual color deck, this is an absolute monster in dire need of a reprint. And then call the Copper Coats, all right? It's got Strive. This spell costs 2 mana, one of them being white more to cast for each target beyond the first. Choose any number of target opponents. Create X 1/1 white human creature soldier tokens, where X is the number of creatures those opponents control. Incredible for your humans deck. And with that in mind, let's get down to business. Let's look at these low casting cost humans that can take advantage of Jet's insane Winota-like ability. The first one up is a heavy hitter and a great card from Murders at Karlov Manor. By the way, completely underrated set. Delny, Streetwise Lookout. Creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. If an ability of a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. We have the Scholar of New Horizons. And by the way, every single one of these humans is going to be mana value 3 or less. The Scholar enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it. You tap it, remove a counter from permanent you control. Search your library for a plains card or reveal it. If an opponent controls more lands than you, you may put that card onto the battlefield tapped. If you don't put the card onto the battlefield, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Spectacular Spider-Man from a Universes Beyond set. Love this card. It's got flash. You pay 1, Spectacular Spider-Man gains fly until the end of turn. You pay 1 and sacrifice it. Creatures you control gain hexproof and indestructible until the end of turn. A sneaky little way to protect Jet. The Guide of Souls for Modern Horizons 3. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you get 1 life and an energy. Whenever you attack, pay 3 energy. When you do, put 2 1/1 counters and a flying counter on target attacking creature. It becomes an angel in addition to its other types. The Dranith Magistrate, you know who he is and what he does. Your opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. The Grand Abolisher. During your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. Mother of Runes. Tap it. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until the end of turn. Lauren of the Third Path. When Lauren of the Third Path enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. You don't play enough removal in your commander decks. Trust me when I tell you that. And then you and target opponent can each draw a card. More removal, Cathar Commander. Sacrifice this creature, Cathar Commando. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Maybe the greatest 1-drop ever. The Esper Sentinel. Whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, draw a card unless that player pays X, where X is Esper Sentinel's power. The Beloved Princess, Lifelink, and Beloved Princess can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. There's a little bit of a theme going on here, so include this one. Talia, Heretic Cathar. First strike, creatures in non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Boromir, Warden of the Tower. Vigilance. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. And sacrifice Boromir. Creatures you control gain indestructible till the end of turn. So more protection for our guy Jet. Now another card. I just got to pull it up in my actual human stack here. This is a great one. The Knights of Sandaria, a.k.a. Foil Ranger Captain of Eos. Beautiful Japanese version of it. When this creature enters, you may search your library for a creature card with mana value 1 or less. We'll have a bunch of those in here. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Sacrifice this creature. Your opponent can't cast non-creature spells this turn. Incredible card, a beautiful version of it. Talia's Lieutenant enters the battlefield. Put a 1/1 counter on each other human you control. Whenever another human enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on Thalia's Lieutenant. Handweir, Militia Captain. I actually don't know. Maybe someone can help me with this. I don't know if this is actual Thalia's or Talia's, right? I want to say Talia, but it probably is Thalia at any rate. Handweir, Militia Captain. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 4 or more creatures, transform it. And what do you transform it into? The West Vale Cult Leader. West Vale Cult Leader's power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control. At the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 white and black human cleric creature token onto the battlefield. Recruiter of the Guard. When the Recruiter of the Guard enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a creature card with toughness 2 or less, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. Another insane 1-drop Sarah Ascendant lifelink, and as long as you have 30 or more life, Sarah Ascendant gets +5/+5 and flying. Aerith Gainsborough, lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on it. And when it dies, put X 1/1 counters on each legendary creature you control, where X is the number of 1/1 counters on Aerith. Champion of the Parish. By the way, I'm giving you literally almost every human you need in your Jet Rebel Leader deck. Whenever another human enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on Champion of the Parish. Adeline, Resplendent Cather. Power is equal to the number of creatures you control. Whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 white human creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. Loyal Retainers, beautiful version of this. Sacrifice Loyal Retainers, return target legendary card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this ability only during your turn before attackers are declared. And then Thalia, the Guardian of Thraben, or Talia, like I was saying. First strike, non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. Incredible. You wanted creatures with mana value 3 or less for Jet. I gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 of them. Now, that's not going to be enough creatures. You're going to need more than that. So I'm going to give you a couple of resources. First of all, in these show notes for your guide, Jet, I am going to want you to look at my As Above, So Below Humans deck. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. But you're also going to want to take a look at my Winota Joiner of Forces. I said there was some similarities between Jet and Winota. Let's look at Winota. Whenever a non-human creature you control attacks in the top 6 cards of your library, you can put a human creature card from among them onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. Gains indestructible till the end of turn, all right? Some very similar Jet-like type features. So what are some other cards that you can put in your deck that are super low casting cost, if you will? All-Sailed of Life's Bounty. The Archon of Emeria would be a great stacks piece. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. An Aven Interrupter, an Aven Mind Sensor, a Benevolent Bodyguard. We have the Cathar Commando in here. Maybe a Deep Gnome Terramancer, super underrated card from Baldur Gate. All right. Maybe the Drumblower. Maybe the Eidolon of Rhetoric and Aethersworn Canonist could be great. A Gingerbrute could be great. A Giver of Rings, a Gold Mirror. Yeah, there are a ton of cards you could include in here. Wow. Unreal. Philia, Exuberant Shepherd would fit the bill. Sanctum Prelate would fit the bill. A Voice of Victory would fit the bill. Yeah, you're going to have no problem finding incredible mana value 3 or less creatures to put in this deck. So I will also put my Winota deck is called the Grand Alliance for Jet right here. I will put a link to that as well, so you have all the resources to build the ultimate Jet deck. But that's not the only resource you're going to have, because we have the best community of people anywhere here at Muscles and Magic the Gathering, right? An incredibly positive, helpful community. And I need your help. I want you to go in the show notes, and I want you to put recommendations for this deck in the show notes. Chances are I will use some of your recommendations, and we can all learn about them together. So there you have it. Jet Rebel Leader Avatar, The Last Airbender, one of the best sets I've seen in a long, long time. Absolutely love it. And me, Bobby Maximus, Muscles, Magic the Gathering.